All right, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Science and Technology Zoom. My name is Dr. Staci Holwiger, and I am excited to share with you all information about LifeWave this evening. And if you tuned in last Tuesday, I had Dr. Tim Tagg on with me, and he and I talked about detoxification and the benefits of detoxification, different types of detoxification, and how our patches impact that process in your body. So I want to piggyback off that a little bit with you all because it is so important that we really pay attention to this and also learn about how the patches can impact your body in that process, support your body in that process. And of course, I want to answer whatever questions you happen to have. So before we get started, I want you to know that if you are new, if you're a guest tonight, thank you for being here. If you're watching the recording, I am not a medical doctor and I'm not your doctor. I have a PhD in integrative medicine and a PhD in functional medicine. So I have been in holistic health and wellness modalities for over 20 years now. And it's actually my upbringing. So my entire life, I've been into all different types of natural things. It's just the way I was raised. And so the information that I'm going to share with you tonight about LifeWave's technology and anything that I happen to mention tonight is for informational purposes only. Remember, I'm not your doctor, so I'm not here to diagnose or treat or prevent or claim to cure anything that's going on with you. If you have questions about your health, please check with your practitioner. We're happy to help give you information. Of course, as adults, you can make your own decisions on that information. But I do want to be able to answer any questions that you have. So a little bit later on, after I go through some science and tech, I will let you ask questions in the chat, and I will definitely answer those questions for you. We'll get to as many as we can. I really look forward to it every week. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but obviously those questions come in weekly, live every single week. I have no idea what the questions are going to be. Sometimes I even say, I don't know what that means. Can you tell me what those letters mean? Can you explain what that is in your words? So, I love being able to answer those questions and help give you some maybe resources or support or information in your health journey. Because I think it's very important that we all take responsibility for our own health. Years and years ago, maybe even now to some people, we relied on just our medical doctor just to tell us what it was, and we didn't feel like we were smart enough to be able to understand really all the things that a doctor did. And so we just trusted them at their word, and they were doing the best they could with the information they had, how they were trained and what they were trained in, to be able to help and assist us in our journey, in our supposed health journey, right? Healthcare. And somehow over the years, some of that isn't always the same. And we find that nowadays, just writing a piece of paper, notepad down and writing that script and going off to the pharmacy to fill that may not always be the only solution to our issues. It may not be the best solution to our issues. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about detoxing and your body and the role of that in your body's health and wellness and vitality and longevity. And you guys have probably heard me say this. I always relate our body to a car. You have a car. I'm sure most of you have one or have had one at some point in time, a vehicle. And that vehicle requires regular maintenance. It requires oil changes and tire rotations and fluid changes, brake changes, alignments, many different things have to happen. I was always famous for, well, when the windshield wiper fluid went out, I'm gonna go get my oil changed because I need that windshield wiper fluid. Doesn't happen that much here in Florida anymore. But when I lived back in Indiana, that was the indicator I was out of windshield wiper fluid. And that really, really correlates a lot to our body in that we change the oil in the car because that's what you have to do for regular maintenance for the car to run properly. To get me from point A to point B, I have to put new tires on from time to time. I may not want to, but if I don't, I'm putting myself in an extremely risky situation where I could be in an accident, injure somebody else, or worse, right? And so we do these regular routine maintenance things with our vehicles, whether we go into the service place and have it done, or if you have someone handy at home that does that for you. I know my dad used to change my oil in my first car, and he taught me how to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I think I don't want to do that on a regular basis. But I remember going through that process with him on that 1979 Cutlass Supreme. And so whatever that looked like or does look like for you, you know that it has to happen. But have you thought of your body in the same way that you have an inside that is kind of fluid, like oil, but not, right? Liquid, blood, different types of fluids in your body that can kind of get gunky and built up over time. And not that we're going to take our blood out and put it back in, but we need to cleanse that blood. We need to cleanse those fluids in our body. We need to make sure we're cleansing our cells. We have trillions of cells in our body. And in order for them to function correctly and communicate correctly, they need maintenance. They need to be taken care of. And so if you haven't done a detox in your entire life, say you're in your 60s, 70s, you've never actually done any type of detox. That's like driving a car for 50, 60, 70 years and never changing the oil. You know it's not going to last that long, right? And so if you look at some of your health issues that you deal with, helping to remove the toxins out of the body a lot of times can help get to the root of those issues and help eliminate them, right? And so it's really important for our longevity and vitality and our overall wellness and general health that we do keep those toxins moving out. So let's talk about that. Well, I'm not going to go into any specific type of detox because there are so many different types of detoxes out there, and we don't have time for that. I will share with you, though, that I did my first detox when I was 18 years old. I had found out about doing a water fast. I had no idea where. I think I read it in a natural health magazine. I don't even know. But it was a gallon of distilled water with fresh squeezed lemon juice and cayenne pepper. That's all you could have, that 1 gallon every day for 7 days. And I remember doing that. At the time, I was 18. I was working at the bank. I was going to college. And I remember going into work with this jug, a gallon of distilled water with that stuff I would put in it. And I would drink and sip on that all day and all night. 7 days later, I'm like, oh, great. 18 years old. Like, who does that? I don't know or why. But for some reason, I was led to do that. And it was important to me to continue doing different types of detoxes. I've done a lot. I have done a lot. I mean, you name it, detox wise, I've probably done it. And I'm the guinea pig on myself. Okay. Liver cleanses, liver flush, gallbladder flush, kidney flush, whatever, fasting, juice fast, water fast, intermittent fasting, all different types of tinctures and pills and supplements and baths and tonics, herbs, all kinds of stuff. Parasite, heavy metal, candida, you name it, fungus, I'm doing all of it. All over the last 32 years. Why? Because it always seemed important, like my car. I want to get from point A to point B, and I don't want any issues in between. And that's how I feel about my body. I want it to move from point A to point B every single day, and I don't have time to deal with any issues in between. So prevention for me was always important. And I want you to think about that for yourself. And maybe that hasn't been your path or your journey. And maybe you didn't know anything about it, or maybe you were scared to detox because you didn't want to be on the toilet, or you didn't want to have a headache, or you didn't want to throw up. Nobody really wants to throw up, right? You didn't want to miss work. I remember when I did that liver gallbladder flush, and it was seven days. Oh, it was disgusting tasty. Ugh. All this oil, olive oil in it. Oh my God. But man, it cleaned the pipes, that's for sure. Talk about that, colonics, right? Woo, that's going to clean those pipes too. Get the stuff out. I've always had the philosophy that better out than in, right? We deworm our dogs and cats and cows and horses. Why would we not deworm ourselves, right? Why do we not do those things to get the toxins out? It's important. And those toxins, what happens is they build up in your body. They cause that inflammation in your body. And I'll be honest with you too. When I was a kid, which was 50 years ago, right? We didn't have the level of toxicity that we do now. We didn't. We had food that my mother grew out back. We had 2 gardens. My dad hunted. We'd have deer always in the freezer, year round, or they'd go get a side of beef from the guy down the road that had the cow. So it wasn't like we had these foods that were bombarded with all the toxins. And I'm not saying we didn't have, Twinkies or Pop-Tarts. Of course, those existed back in the 70s and 80s. And for some of you guys, they didn't exist when you were a kid, but whatever, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is we had different types of foods that maybe weren't the healthiest option, but we still weren't inundated with them and consumed them at all times and addicted to them to where that's all we had as a food source, right? Enter cereals, fortified, cardboard, right? That is not nutritious. That is not, but that's what, they were pumping back in the 80s and 90s. And so I'm not going to get deep into nutrition, but I want to share with you that your nutrition matters. It matters what you eat. Remember when you were growing up there, I was like, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. No, that's real. That's really real. That's really real. If you're eating real food that you can grow or hunt, that is something that your body knows what to do with. And this fake food, packaged, processed, ultra processed, fake food is causing so much harm in our body. And sometimes we don't even know it. We've all heard of McDonald's, 25 years sitting on the plate, French fries, burger, never changed. Well, Laura Balzer, many of you guys know her. Laura, great friend of mine, she had a McDonald's cheeseburger and fry on her plate, and it was on top of a refrigerator. So every time we go to her condo, still got that burger and fries. Oh, yeah, 6 years and counting, 7 years and counting. Didn't look a bit different. Nothing changed. I shared a video this past weekend of them taking molten copper, 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and pouring it over a Big Mac, and nothing happening. Like literally pouring it over it, and it did not disintegrate. The lettuce, the tomato did not disintegrate. The cheese did not disintegrate. That type of temperature over food, it should be gone instantly. Like it should have been poof, ashes, nothing. That's not food. That's not food. And then most recently, I follow a doctor on Instagram, and she's always sharing great tips and information. And she's got Chick-fil-A in her closet on plates. She's got a plate of fries and chicken nuggets and a plate of chicken sandwich and French fries. Wow, everybody thinks Chick-fil-A is healthy. That's our healthier drive-through option. I don't know that there is a healthy drive-through option. And so I want to share something with you. You guys can write this down. But this book, this is one of the books that I read for my PhD in functional medicine. And it wasn't the first time I read a book on pH balance, okay? I've been reading these things for 20 plus years. This one was really good. It's thick, but the back of it has lots of recipes back here. Okay, so there's lots of, wrong, that's the front, sorry. Back in here, there's lots of recipes for you guys to be able to pick really good, healthy foods. That's really what the whole second half of the book is. But the reason why I want to bring this up, because I don't want to get into a diet. I don't want to get into, you have to eat this way or that way, or there's so many things out there. And we're all so different in how our body reacts or responds to different foods, what we are nourish our body, or some things can be harmful for different people. So when you look at pH balance is what keeps the body in balance at the cellular level. And so the different types of foods that they talk about in here and the different reasons for the foods is really important. It's called the pH miracle. Okay. And I have a ton. I just grabbed this one off my shelf. I probably have 8 or 10 different books on balancing your pH. And they all say this, and you can Google pH chart. And I want you to think about this, because keeping that body in that balanced state, we're either acidic or we're alkaline. When you know what I know about, and what doctors know, holistic for sure, about the body's environment. And I know this from the ICU as well too, because when Taylor was in ICU, if her body got too acidic, they would do what was called blood gas. She had an arterial line at one point in time, several points in time, and they would monitor blood gases every 30 minutes or hourly. And if that body got too acidic, they were pumping it full of sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, in an IV form to get it more alkaline, to get it more back in balance. Because if it went acidic, she could die. It would put her into sepsis. And so it was so important to keep that body in a pH balanced state. And I feel like that's a really good place for someone to start to educate themselves on what are the types of foods that are going to contribute to my acidity or my alkalinity in my body. And when you look at the disease process, when you look at fungus and bacteria and virus, different types of pathogens, rogue cells that are growing, they can't grow in an environment that's alkaline. You can take your blood and you can put it in a petri dish, take another piece of, specimen of your blood, put it in another petri dish, right? And we can have this one over here be acidic, this one over here be alkaline. We can expose this acidic petri dish of your blood to viruses and funguses and cancers and pathogens and whatever. If it's acidic, then they're going to have an environment to grow. If it's more towards the alkaline, then they're not going to have that environment to grow. Sugar, 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 sugar. Most people know nowadays that they're addicted to sugar. Sugar is more addictive than heroin and cocaine. So people know that. And it's hard to break that habit because it is an addiction. And when we have people, this is something interesting I thought. I can't remember which doctor shared this, but when people have addictions, if they have, alcohol addictions or drug addictions or whatever the addictions are, you don't push people like, hey, I'm recovering alcoholic, whatever. You don't push people or make them feel bad for having that addiction. Like, you can't have a drink. You're 21 days sober or whatever that is. When people have food addictions, most everyone does, but we don't do the same behavior with people. We're not like, oh no, sugar, you're staying strong, sugar, people don't respond that way. And you can't not eat. Like, you can not drink alcohol, you can not do drugs, but you can't not eat. And there's food everywhere, right? And we're in a hurry and we're busy. So just be aware of that, because when you think about detoxing, your foundation is inside of your body nutritionally, what you do to support that detox process. So let's talk a little bit about the patches and how the patches are going to support the body's ability to detox, to be able to eliminate those toxins, because we do need support. We do need help in that process. For me, using intermittent fasting has always been huge in me supporting my body in detoxing. It's easy. It doesn't cost anything. I don't have to go anywhere. I just don't eat until after 11 o'clock in the morning. I eat in an 8-hour window and I fast for 16 hours, obviously during the time, most of it, not all of it, when I'm sleeping. But that is for me very important to support my body. What else do I do to support my body in detoxing? Water. Water is so critical to eliminating the toxins. Staying hydrated. Most people say, I don't like water. Soak it in strawberries, in lemons, in limes, in carrots, cucumbers, parsley, mint, I don't know. Put fruits or vegetables, pineapple, anything in there. Do something fresh, real into your water. Mine has lime in it right now, fresh squeezed limes in there. I like limes. I like lemons. It's easy. It's convenient. They're super affordable, right? And so I just have some fresh cut up that I, have on the counter, and I'll just squeeze some in my water. That helps support that detoxification process. And when you look at the patches, if you don't have enough water in your body, you're probably not going to feel good. Let's be honest with that. You're probably not going to feel great, and you're probably not going to get as good of results as you could get if you are not hydrated. So our cells are light. We emit light. We have trillions of cells in our body, and they're all emitting this light. Well, guess what? As we age, those cells shrink. The light around that's emitting around those cells shrinks. And so we need to stay hydrated as we are living our life in order for not only our cell-to-cell communication, but for our tissues, for our brain, for our digestion. Most people use coffee to have a bowel movement, which is dehydrating. It's the exact opposite of really what you want to do. If you have enough water in your system and you're actually hydrating those cells and tissues, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second, then your bowels are moving. We should have 1 to 2 bowel movements a day. That helps eliminate those toxins. If you're not That needs to be number 2 on your list. Are you consuming enough fiber? What are you doing to keep those bowels moving, right? With your diet and with your water. Then the other thing I want to share with you is electrolytes. Okay. Most people are deficient in magnesium, about 70% of the population. There are many different types of magnesiums, each do something different. I like Celtic sea salt. There are actually 3 different types of magnesium in Celtic sea salt. It's CELTIC. You can get it on Amazon, Whole Foods, buy it, buy a lot of it. Sometimes people are like, it's hard to find. I'm like, I know, I've been promoting it for a long time. I see posts on my Facebook in my memories from 10, 12 years ago where I'm posting pictures of Celtic sea salt. I still buy the same kind. Well, let's think about that. What's Staci's health condition like? She's been using this salt for a long time. Super cheap, super easy, convenient, put one little crystal on your tongue before you drink this glass of water. Do that a couple times a day. Pulls the water into the cells, into the tissues, helps with that detoxification process. Plus so many other things. There are 92 different trace minerals in Celtic sea salt. So huge benefits to using that. I also use an electrolyte amino acid powder. Pick whatever kind you want, right? I get mine off of Amazon. It's a clean, healthy one. It doesn't have all the extra gunk in it, right? I don't need all the artificial flavors or any of that kind of stuff. But I'm really big about electrolytes and amino acids, and I have been for a long time because I know for cell-to-cell communication, for my brain to function correctly, I've got to have those minerals. I love sea moss. Sea moss is amazing. It has right around that 90 to 100 trace minerals as well. You can just buy liquid trace minerals. They comes in different flavors. But you got to get those in your body just for life, okay? Just for all over life. But when you're patching and you're thinking about this patch, this non-transdermal patch, this thing right here looks like this. It's sticky on one side and smooth on the other. I can flip it over. It's a brand new one, so it's super sticky. Smooth on the other. This right here is a wearable light technology. This works with my body's light. This works by cell-to-cell communication. Works at the mitochondrial level. Your mitochondria are organelles that are in every single cell. They're your powerhouse, your energy source that are responsible in your cells. And so that gives you energy. That gives you power. We've got to have these electrolytes in order for that cell-to-cell communication. And if you heard me talk about this before, David is actually invented. So just be patient. You'll hear about it at Nova on January 27th, or not Nova, Vision. It used to be called Nova, which is our virtual conference that we're having January 27th. David's going to share with you about these new electrolyte amino acid day and nighttime powder to support the body in this cell-to-cell communication, in the biophotonic exchange of information that's taking place when you apply this patch on your body. And so just be patient. The information's coming. They're going to be announced. He's going to go in detail what they are, how amazing they are. I can't tell you any more information than that because I'm not supposed to be, but I have all the details and you're going to be mind blown. But that'll be January 27th at Vision Conference. You'll be able to see that virtually. And if you haven't seen that yet, please check your email because that's been sent out a lot. But that is a fantastic way to be able to get your electrolytes and amino acids without having to buy stuff here and there and here. I'm excited for it because I'm always buying stuff here and here, right? I got a lot of tools in my toolbox. So when I put this patch on, I want the best results. So to stay hydrated, to make sure I've got my electrolytes, right? Those are going to be things that help me get the best results. And I feel good. And I help my body through the process of eliminating any extra toxins. Now, how does this patch do that? Well, first of all, when you put this patch on, this patch activates a peptide in your body. It's called GHKCU. And I'm not going to go into tons of detail about that just for time purposes. I want to answer your questions. If you've not read Dr. Lauren Picart's book yet or looked at any of his research, he's the actually man that discovered GHK 53 years ago. GHK is there. It's a peptide, tripeptide. Peptides are chains of proteins, amino acids, which are the building blocks of our body. You have lots of peptides. So what Dr. John Harmon did, he's a chiropractor in our team, right? In Team Evolve. What he did is he went and he took all of this research and data and he compiled it into one very simple, easy, and effective book that's very easy to read for us, and it breaks it down into categories. And so there's information in here on elevating GHK for anti-aging, for skin, right? For youth renewal on the outside. GHK has huge cardiovascular benefits. Just watch Dr. Harmon's testimonial. That can tell you in and of itself right there. Removing a branch, right branch bundle block does not happen. But boy, sure did after he started patching. So that's huge, right? When you look at the heart, neurological benefits from elevating GHK. Dr. Don Verholst, if you heard us this past Saturday on the training we did virtually, Dr. Don and I spent 4 weeks taking a deep dive into neurological benefits of elevating GHK. We see athletic performance, recovery, fitness, wound healing. So many of you have been in accidents, injuries, you've had surgeries, and your injury or wound has healed so much faster because of elevating GHK. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about one of the benefits that I think is kind of pretty important to detoxification and to be able to help get that body into balance. And that is when you put this patch on and you elevate GHK, you actually reset a third of your genes back to their young, youthful, healthy state immediately. When you put the patch on, you don't feel anything happening. You don't see anything happening. Nothing's entering the body, right? We know this is non-transdermal, wearable light technology, just reflecting back your own light in a very specific wavelength from what David's invented in the center of this patch. But that does elevate that peptide, and that in turn resets a third of your genes. One of those genes that's reset is responsible for activating, elevating, and mobilizing your own stem cells. Now, we all have stem cells. We were all born with an abundance of stem cells. Stem cells that we're born with are pluripotent, which means they can change or turn into any cell or tissue or organ that our body needs for repair and regeneration. Think back when you were a kid, right? You had boundless amounts of energy. You could sleep at the drop of a hat. You'd go nonstop. Your brain was always on. You were always learning, sharp as a tack, right? You'd fall off a bike or fall out of a tree or do whatever, hurt yourself. You'd get a cast or a Band-Aid. Your body would heal so fast. But as you age, you have less and less stem cells that are active. By the time you're in your 30s, you have about half of your stem cells that are still active. And by the time you're in your 60s, there's less than 10% that are still mobile and working, circulating throughout your body. Now, if you've got trillions of cells and less than 10% of those are stem cells, you know why there's a degeneration process in the body. That aging process, that decline in the body, that's happening because the body doesn't have the ability to repair itself anymore. It's just declining. And so if you're past 60, then you got nothing, no stem cells left. They're all dormant. They're all tired. They're all wore out. So no matter if you're 2 or 102, when you use this patch, it wakes up dormant stem cells. It helps those stem cells to go to work to repair and regenerate whatever's damaged. Your stem cells, your now young, youthful, healthy stem cells. Not to mention the GHK that's in your body, but your stem cells now go to work to repair areas that are damaged. Your liver, that all of a sudden people have fatty liver and they don't drink. But it's the sugar. It's the sugar that's causing the fatty liver. So your liver enzymes are off. And then all the thyroid problems, right? All those that lead to the heart disease. Number one killer is heart disease. Your stem cells are going to go to work to repair and regenerate these systems and organs in your body. How do we know this? Like, how can I sit here and say this? Because I told you at the beginning, I'm not making any claims to treat or cure or diagnose anything. Our clinical studies do not look at diseases. We are not looking at the disease process in the body. We're looking at systems. We're looking at organs. We're looking at cellular function in the body at that cellular level. These patches are activating your own stem cells, and your stem cells are then going to those areas that are damaged in whatever order. Your body knows how to heal itself. You cannot pick where your stem cells go first. And I Zoom with people all day long, and they'll say, my knee's bone on bone. I've crushed my L4, L5 vertebrae. I've got this accident, I had a car accident. I've got this neck issue. I need my stem cells to fix that. Okay, they can over time. And the way this works is we recommend your starting point. I want you to get this. This is not a quick fix, okay? If you're a one patch wonder, if you put on a patch and you felt something or noticed something, congratulations. You're a rarity and we're happy for you. If you're within your first 4, 5, 6, 7 days and you felt some changes, wow, that's amazing. Elevation of GHK, you could actually feel it. But it didn't mean your stem cells went in and repaired that area of your body or that issue that you had. That happens over time. 1 month for every decade you are old. That's how long it's going to take to get all those stem cells woke up. So for me, when I started, that was in my 40s, so almost 50. So I was like, yeah, 4 or 5 months, I'll patch. That's going to wake all my stem cells up, get them all working. Then they're going to go to do whatever they need to do. I don't know what's going on inside there, right inside my body. I don't have any issues. So I'm just going, I'm sure they're going to go clean up the cobwebs, right? We know that using this patch is also elevating our own glutathione at the same time. You're elevating your glutathione by about 30% the day you put it on. So what's happening? Well, I'm going in there cleaning up the cobwebs. Glutathione's the biggest master antioxidant, detoxer, immune booster. So putting this patch on is helping me to detox on a daily basis. A little bit, right? Not tons. This is not a cleanse. This is not, oh my God, I have to be on the toilet for 7 days. This is just, hey, I'm going to elevate my own glutathione. That's a component of X39. Another component of X39 is elevating your collagen. Collagen is responsible for so many things. People think it's hair, skin, and nails. It is. It's hair, skin, and nails, right? This is my hair. I had somebody the other day said, do you have hair extensions? I'm like, no, this is my hair. I actually washed it today. So I actually washed it today. That's why it looks, it looks long because I have it down. It's not a ponytail. We get busy. Who has time to wash their hair every single day? I got to be on Zooms to answer your questions, right? Throw in a ponytail and go about my day. That's all that matters. But when you look at this, increasing your collagen is the glue that holds everything together on the inside. It's responsible for your metabolism. It's responsible for your digestion. It's everything in that. You think of your aches and pains, your joints and all of that. There's many different types of collagen. And so elevating your own collagen, huge for the body, not only on the outside, but on the inside. And that's also really important in that detoxification process. So when you use this patch, you're going to put it on in the morning when you get up. You're going to leave it on 12 hours. And you're going to take it off and throw it away. Or you're going to put it on your pet. Put it in your pet bed, put it on their collar if you've got a pet that needs a little extra step in their pet, in their little day, right? Get them going. I had a lady that shared, or man, I can't remember, last weekend in Tampa that they had a cat that was old. You know how you can feel their bones, their spine, and fur was all scraggly looking. And it was, I don't know, like 18 years old. Started patching the cat with the old patches. The cat lived 2 more years. It was able to go up and down the steps. Like it was like a spry little kitten again for 2 more years. And then it passed away. That's fine. Okay, that's a great life. So not that I'm saying, you're going to pass away in a couple of years and this is going to bring you back to life, but some of you might be in that situation. So you have to be patient with the process. No matter what your age is, you cannot direct where your stem cells go. And so you have to be okay with your body repairing in the order that your body wants to repair in. And a lot of times it'll go to the areas that are the most damaged, that need the most help. And you may think it's that hip that you're trying to avoid the surgery, or that knee that you're trying to avoid the surgery. And I get asked that all the time. I've got bone on bone. I'm supposed to have a surgery in April. Can this fix my knee? And I'm like, between now and April? No, no. You're going to have to give it time, right? I don't know that your stem cells are going to go to your knee. And this is not an injection. We cannot direct them. Thank God it's not an injection. There's nothing entering the body. It's non-invasive. There's no side effects, no contraindications, no worries about things going awry, right, when you're using this patch. So using it 12 hours every day, day after day, week after week, month after month. Why are some of us still patching 2.5 years later? 3, 4.5 years later, this patch X39 has been on the market 4.5 years now. Why are some people still using it every day? I don't know if you've all seen them. So Monday through Thursday at 9 Eastern, we do what's called Patching Podcast, and we interview 2 new people every week. And a lot of times we'll bring people on that have been interviewed in the past, and we want to hear how they're doing now, what's going on in their life, give us an update. And as we do that, they get younger and younger and younger looking. And they have more and more and more things they've crossed off their list. And that's what it's about. It's about longevity and vitality. It's about prevention. It's about getting the body into balance and keeping it in balance. And it's also about age reversal. There's some vanity in here, okay? I want to reverse the functionality of my cells and tissues and organs and my skin. I want to look young without having to do all the stuff. I don't want to do all the nip and tuck and suck and cut and all that stuff, right? I want to keep it, everything firm. And that's what this technology does. So by helping your body to eliminate these toxins, by improving your hydration, by moving your body, getting that lymphatic system moving, going for a walk, rebounding, we talked about that last week. Get a little baby trampoline. Get one of those plates, vibrating plates. You just stand on there. You don't even have to jump. It does it all for you. Have all that stuff. Get that if you have to. You want to be able to move. Get that lymphatic system moving. Get those toxins out. You gotta pee, you gotta poop, and you need to breathe. We have to expel. I was listening to, I think it was Joe Rogan was interviewing a doctor last week. I sent it to Laura. I was like, oh my gosh. She was saying that when you look at eliminating toxins from the body, 84% were from your breath. How many of us don't even take deep breaths or get our cardiovascular system going enough to actually have your breath, where you can carry on a conversation, but you're huffing and puffing a little? That's how you expel toxins. You actually lose weight through your breath and your urine, of course. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to poop it out. It doesn't work that way. No, it's definitely not the feces where you're losing the weight. It's the urine from your lymphatic system flushing out those toxins and the breath. And so using X39 is going to help you in that process. But I want to share something else with you along the lines of detoxing before we go to questions. So when you're looking at the cells in your body, and even the tissues, we become inflamed from those toxins, from the environment, from water that's not clean, personal care products. It's funny. People ask me all the time, like, what's in this patch? What are the ingredients? What is it made up of? Is this going to harm me? Is there anything that can do to hurt me? Which I get it. That makes sense. And I want to say, what's in your shampoo? What's in that mascara you have on right now? How about your powder? What about that body lotion, the hand cream you put on that you got from Bath and Body Works? Are you worried about what's in all that? Those are massive endocrine disruptors, massive toxins that we're putting on our body every day unless we're buying them from somewhere that's clean, that's safe, right? Somebody asked me this weekend in Kansas City, we were all having dinner on Saturday night, and, just 15, 20 of us, I don't know, sitting around the table, and somebody said, Staci, what kind of soap do you use? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They're like, soap. What kind of soap do you use? I mean, like to wash my body? Soap? I'm like, okay, well, I prefer bar soap that's handmade locally by someone that I know. Or if I travel out of the country, they have all the local people that are there, in that area, the mountainous regions or wherever in Italy. I always buy tons of their real bar soap and their real lotion that they've made or they're making right there in front of you. And I bring that back. Or, I'll buy it from someone here. I've got a couple people locally that make soap. So people want to know, like, what do you do? I want to do the least amount of toxins entering my body. My skin is my largest organ. It's also my biggest detoxer. So if you're like, oh, I've got this skin rash or I've got these bumps on the back of my arms, that's your body trying to eliminate those toxins, and your digestive system's not doing a good job, and your cardiovascular system's not doing a good job of expelling those toxins. And so your skin's going, help, I need this out of my body right now. It's going to come out through this skin if you don't get it out some other way. And so we've got to support that body in doing that. Eon supports the body at the cellular level in detoxification by reducing inflammation. You always hear me talk about the dynamic duo, X39 Eon. You have to. You can use X39. It is our flagship patch. You can use it until the cows come home. I don't know when you're going to get your miracle. I don't know when all the things are going to be crossed off your list. I guarantee you they will if you keep patching, but I don't know when. But I also do know that the number one patch that we had before X39 was Eon. And I coined the phrase with the two of them, the dynamic duo. Dr. Don did that in a previous company that he and I were with a couple other products. It was a vitamin and a greens. He's like, this is the dynamic duo. I'm like, in this company, Eon is the dynamic duo with X39. Because when you reduce inflammation in the body, in the cells and the tissues, then the body has the ability to repair and regenerate faster. It just makes sense. When I first listened to one of David's videos 2.5 years ago, he said, if you had shoulder issues, range motion, pain, whoop, whoop, all that stuff, you go to get stem cell injections, you inject 2 million stem cells in, you're probably going to be left with 200,000 because the inflammation is going to come and consume those stem cells. You spent 25 grand for 2 million stem cells and you got 200,000. Because your inflammation is consuming the stem cells. So when we can bring down that inflammation at the cellular level and in the tissues, that helps to detox the body, remove those toxins so that your body can repair faster. Okay, and maybe you'll be on the toilet. Maybe you'll have 3 or 4 bowel movements a day, right? You got to get your digestive system moving. Maybe you won't. I don't know. It didn't do anything different for me, but I'm also the detox queen. So I put on 6 patches on day 1. I'm like, all right, let's do this thing. I want all of them. I want all that, all those extra peptides activated. Peptide therapy is huge. I used to pay a lady to come to the house, $250 for a 30-minute session of vitamins and peptides injections. They're so important for your longevity. Now I don't have to do that. I'm like, put on a patch, activate my own, no needles, which is fine. Didn't really bother me, but still, you're sitting there hooked up to something, right? She do that glutathione push at the end, and you're like, oh, I can feel that in my teeth. But I knew how important glutathione was. So using the patches to help your body detox, using them on a daily basis is going to help support all of your systems, all of your organs. X39 and Eon support everything in your body. The other two I want to talk about really quickly with detoxification, and we touched on these last week, is glutathione. You heard me say that's the master antioxidant, detox, or immune booster. X39 does elevate your glutathione by about 30%. Our glutathione patch actually activates your own glutathione. And that peptide that's elevated, the glutathione peptide, that sustains that elevation of over 300% glutathione active in your bloodstream, in your body for a 24-hour period. That IV push that I did at the end, it has a 7-minute half-life. Only elevated my glutathione by about 20%. Big difference, right? And so being able to use our patch to be able to help boost that immune system, help repair that gut, help get things right in your microbiome, right? Everyone's heard of that now. And so using glutathione to detox the body, to help remove, especially, I got a lot of these questions this weekend. What if I had the ouchie from Fauci? How do I get that out of my body? There's a lot of things to do that. I know that's funny, isn't it? One of my guys, he started sharing that because it's safe to say that on YouTube and Rumble without getting in trouble. So if you had the ouchie from Fauci, what do we need to do to get those toxins out of the body? Well, X39, Eon, and glutathione. There's actually a recording on my YouTube channel that I screen grabbed of Michael Jaco, who's a former Navy SEAL, and David, and David screen shares and talks about looking at the blood of people that have had that injection and how to help right the blood that does not look right in microscopy, that needs to look correct. Red blood cells, white blood cells, fibrinogen, and using X39, Eon, and glutathione do that. So we want to get those toxins out, and those 3 patches are wonderful at doing it. The other patch I love that's an antioxidant is carnosine. Carnosine is an antioxidant most people don't even know exist. It's not easy to get. You can't really ingest it because your stomach acid will consume it and break it down too quick for it to actually benefit you. And so it's kind of hard, and people don't know about carnosine, not L-carnitine, but carnosine as an antioxidant. So this patch elevates your own carnosine, which is really important for your brain and for your heart and for your muscles and tissues and organs, especially your pancreas, right? Balancing that glycation process to keep your blood sugar in check. That's huge for aging, right? Keeping your blood pressure in check is very, very important. And so that's a great way to help the body to detox from the brain, from the heart. We want to get those toxins out, and we want to do it safely. And so elevating your own peptide, this is the beautiful thing about David's technology. It's all about balance. Okay. You're not going to throw the body out of balance. Your body's already out of balance. We want to get the body into balance, or if it's in, we want to keep it in, right? And so it won't do too much. There's not a dosing. There's a time, and it's 12 hours on and 12 hours off. That's what I love about our patches. People ask all the time when I talk about a parasite detox or a heavy metal detox, well, how much do I take? How many days? They always want to know about the dosing. And that can vary from person to person, depending on their age or depending on their weight or their situation. With our patches, it's simple. It's easy. You put it on in the morning when you get up. You take it off at night when you go to bed. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Do it again, again, over and over and over again. Stay hydrated. Get your body outside. Get some movement. Or if it's snowing and -30, I get it. Don't go outside, okay? Get on your rebounder. Get on your couch, get on your bed, jump up and down on your bed. At least if you fall, it's going to be soft. Get your body moving. Do some type of body weight exercises. Watch a YouTube video. I don't know. But movement is going to help you with that detoxification process. So I know I've shared a lot of information, you guys. I'm obviously not, talking about any people. You're probably going to ask, like, what parasite or what heavy metal or what detox bath or what do you do? I'll share some resources of things that I use personally on the actual video that I put on my recording. I don't sell anything. You're literally going to get Amazon links, and people have told me for years, you should have your own store. And I'm like, I don't have time to figure that out. It's not my area of expertise. Here's a link to Amazon. Somebody's going to get credit for it, whatever. It doesn't matter. So if I share some of those links on there with you guys, you can go and purchase. If you know, it does have nothing to do with me. But if you want to know the types of stuff that I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. I really do. I'm a big detox person. It's so important. And I contribute that to a big part of why I am as young and youthful and healthy and vital and have the energy that I have. It's kind of crazy. I got in this morning, our flights were delayed out of Kansas City because the airplane was too cold for the engines to start. It wouldn't start up. And so the box that was supposed to start the engines was too cold to even start. It was frozen. So we were delayed, missed our connecting flight, booked another flight. Well, I got home at 5:30 this morning. So I got 3 hours, a little siesta before I had to shower and hop on a Zoom. I can't believe how amazing I feel. Well, I mean, I really can, but I can't. I'm like, my God, 3 hours of sleep. Like, I should be dead right now. I got another Zoom in 10 minutes. I feel amazing. Brent's like, you need coffee? I'm like, no, I don't need coffee. Right? I had my amino acids, electrolytes this morning when I got up. I'm drinking my water, got my patches on, maybe I put on an extra set of energy enhancer just in case, but I feel good. I didn't need anything else. Now I'm going to go to bed tonight at 10 o'clock because sleep is so important for detoxification, right? Getting 3 hours is not normal, right? You've got to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, but definitely sleep is important for detoxification as well too. All right, let's look at some of our questions and see what we can get answered in the next 12 minutes. And remember, if you don't get your question answered, get back with the person that invited you. I know we've got over 300 people on here, and they're definitely going to be able to help you get whatever questions answered you need, and the patches, of course, as well, if you're a guest. Glutathione being a detox patch, and you wear it every day or night, or is that not enough? So here's the thing with glutathione. Because X39 elevates your own glutathione, sometimes I'll say this, if you've never done a detox, I think it's great just to start with X39 and Eon. Let that elevate your glutathione. You're aware of it. You know you need it. You know it's important. And you know it's something that you're going to start using here pretty soon. But maybe just try once a week. See how you do. Maybe you have no responses whatsoever. I know my hairdresser, I gave her some glutathione patches. And when we were talking about it, she goes, yeah, I've been doing glutathione to prepare for you bringing me these patches because you said those only had a 7-minute half-life and this is going to keep it up for 24 hours. She said, woo, that put me on the toilet just doing the actual glutathione supplement. She said, that got my bowels moving. And I said, well, yeah, you're extremely inflamed. You're toxic. You gotta get that stuff moving out of your body, girl. And so she reported back with the patches. She's like, doing good, got it moving, but she started slow once a week. Maybe twice a week, right? Now me, I put them on a glutathione patch on every day, have from day one. Like the oldest people on the planet have the highest level of glutathione in the blue zone. So it's super important that we keep our glutathione level up for sure. So when someone's been on a lot of meds for a long time, how gently should they start patching with glutathione? Just like I said, maybe once a week, maybe don't even do it at first. Just do your X39 and Eon, help get some of the inflammation out of the cells, help the detoxing process with just the X39 first, and then go for the glutathione maybe in 30 days. Start slower because medicines, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, most people don't. Medicines are toxic. They're toxins. They are man-made, synthetic. They are not real. Like, you didn't go out back and grow them, okay? So that means, and you know, they come with list pages of side effects. So they are toxins. And so we want to be careful when you're on medications. We don't have any contraindications with any medications, but you want to be aware of the fact that they are a toxin. And if you're on them and you have been for a long time, you want to detox, you know, slowly if you do. If not, if you're like, out, get it out, then go for it. Okay, would I clarify the sources or amounts of amino acids, trace minerals, please? So do you mean in the patches? The patches have we don't have electrolytes and amino acids in the patches. In the patches, in this white part that David has invented, that crystal lattice structure right there, that's where we have the solution of molecules, which is amino acids and sugars and water and oxygen. Those molecules form together in a lattice structure, okay? And it's not like stuff not like my amino acids I'm drinking or table sugar, right? Okay, so let's look at, should you take additional collagen? I do. I take additional. I put a scoop of collagen in a protein shake, a smoothie, at least once a day. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just make sure it's clean. Make sure it's healthy. That's the big thing. When you're looking at what you're putting in your body, you want it to be clean. I go for organic, non-GMO. I don't want any, you know, any extra. I don't want paragraphs of stuff with it. If you can't read what's in that all and pronounce all those words, and it shouldn't even be a paragraph anyways, you should have like a word or two. That's what you should be eating. Can you do the reverse midnight, noon, 12 hours on, 12 hours off? So that's a great question. We use X39, X49, an energy enhancer during the day. Those are daytime patches. They cause elevations of energy, right? And so you want those 12 hours on during the day, 12 hours off at night. The nighttime only patches are Silent Nights and Alavita. They elevate your melatonin. Alavita does a little bit, but those are used to wear at night because they can help with sleep. Obviously, Silent Nights is for sleep. Don't do them during the day. Any of the other patches you can do day or night. It's totally up to you. They all have their own 12-hour window, okay? Can you use the patch when you're out in the sun? Absolutely, yes, you definitely can. In sun, out of sun, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Oh, sorry, what's your question? I'm not for sure what you mean, Dr. Ray. Maybe you want to elaborate on that, okay? Oh, I love goat milk soap. Yeah, that's really good too. So people are saying that water can be a little nauseating. And that, you know, here's the thing, if you drink tap water and it's fluoride, it's full of chemicals, chlorine, things like this, that could be nauseating. Or if you're drinking bottled water that is full of, you know, toxins, fluorides and other types of toxins, it can be nauseating. So you want good, clean, healthy water. What that looks like for you in your situation, maybe you have a water filtration system, an RO system, maybe you're buying clean bottled water. Like this is Aquapana. If I drink this is what I took with me this morning, and I pour it in my BPA-free cup sitting over here that I'll finish before I go to bed tonight. So if you're using a clean, healthy water, then it's not going to be nauseating. It won't have any flavor at all. But we talked about using some type of, you know, fruit, mint, something like that for flavoring if you don't like it. Patches for losing weight. Go back to the recording that Laura and I did. It was a few weeks ago, and it was on the tummy reduction protocol, and we took a deep dive into that, a full hour. So definitely go back to that. As far as patches for addiction, for smoking or drinking, using your X39, using your Eon, and the SP6 to support the endocrine system would definitely be beneficial. And then, of course, glutathione. Massive toxins, right? We know alcohol is a toxin. We know cigarettes, all the carcinogens they put in there, the toxins they put in there. You definitely want to detox. Glutathione, you know, when we look at the gut and helping the gut get healthy, she asked if glutathione can help with constipation. And so we utilize the glutathione in our gut detoxification protocol, as well as X39, Eon, and SP6. SP6 has lots of benefits for the intestines and boosting the metabolism, curbing the appetite, but helping to get things moving. More people than not will say, woo, I got my bowels moving with SP6. And I'm like, good, 1 to 2 times a day. We need to eliminate the things we're eating. We don't need them to sit in there and build up, build up, build up, right? And then you're like, all these parasites are like, woo, heyday, I'm going to feed on all this stuff. Wow, yummy. Okay, you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be a breeding ground for that. Kind of picture like maggots eating rotten meat that's sitting out for a long time. Nope. So we definitely want to use whatever we can to get those toxins out. So glutathione is fantastic for the gut. Yes, definitely. Is it okay to use placement X39, Eon, and glutathione on the knee? Yeah, you absolutely can. If your knee's bothering you, here's the thing, you guys, the patches work if they're on the body. They don't work if they're off the body, right? They don't work. Like I just took this patch and I set it here on my desk on the little sticky part. It's not working. I take this patch and I put it on my body. Now it's working. Okay. So they work when they're on your body. If you want to put them on your knee, put them on your knee. I don't know what's going to help your knee. I don't know if you're going to feel something. Maybe reducing inflammation might help at that time. Maybe not. But if your mind says, my shoulder hurts, I'm going to patch up the whole area, then go for it. Absolutely. It cannot hurt you at all. Okay. Whatever you feel is best for you. Use your own intuition. Okay. So which patch elevates DHEA? That is Eon. Eon patch does that. X49 patch, difference. So real quickly, X39, X49 signal daughter peptides. 39 elevates GHK, 49 elevates AHK. Mom and daughter come together. They love each other. These two patches work synergistically like, woo, on fire. X39 elevates your stem cells. They are systemic throughout your entire body doing their job. X49 elevates that AHK peptide, alanine. So those types of cells go to work into specific areas. The muscles, the bone, your heart, your brain. So we really see huge improvements in building lean muscle mass, reducing body fat, stopping bone loss, increasing bone density. We see more benefits when you combine the two together. So when you look at the clinical studies on startx39now.com, you will see that there's a chart that shows here's the results with just 39, here's the results with just 49. Now here's what happens when we put them two together. Woo, you're like, yep, not going to go without those. Okay, so are the patch wavelengths related to specific colors of light? So that's a great question. We do not have the exact wavelength of light that the patch or any of the patches actually that enters our body. So that is patented. Okay, David has over 150 patents himself. We have a dozen patches. He has patented each of them. And so that means you can't know, it's proprietary. But we do know that it's between the range of 400 and 1,000 nanometers, which is pretty broad. But when you put a patch on, each patch reflects back from the different lattice structures that's in it, a different wavelength of light. And so it's going to elevate a different peptide in the body. So it's not related to a color. It's actually about what nanometer that it is. And you won't know that because if you knew it, then the whole world would know it and then it would be patented and we wouldn't have the only patch on the planet that does what our patches do, right? And yes, this will definitely be on my YouTube channel. Thank you, Jenny, for posting. She posted the link to the YouTube that Laura and I did. Thank you for posting that in the chat. I appreciate your help. Are there any signs of glutathione and carnosine coming to Canada? Good question. And then the last question I'll answer is, does it work if you put it on your clothes? Yes, absolutely. It does. It's working right now on my shirt, just like this. Don't put them in your pocket. Don't leave the back on and put them in your pocket or they're working. So last question was about coming to Canada. So we've always had all the patches in Canada. Last year, well, 2022, the end of 2022, Health Canada lost their mind momentarily. And when they did that, they decided that they only wanted LifeWave to have IceWave and Alavita in their country. The other patches caused too many benefits, and we wanted our people not to have those benefits. So they pulled our patches out of Canada. So we went through the process of rewriting, rebranding, talking about what we said about our patches. And we got all of them back into the country last year, with the exception of carnosine, glutathione, and energy enhancer. Health Canada said those three names made claims. to elevate glutathione, carnosine, and energy enhancer. And those are too beneficial for your health, so we can't have those in the country. So we are in the process of rewording those 3 patches. We did that once. Health Canada said, nope, don't approve those names. So now we're in round 2, waiting for them to come back and say whether or not they approve the new names that we are picking for glutathione, carnosine, and energy enhancer. David said he's hopeful that by the end of the first quarter, we will be able to have those 3 patches back in Canada. But we do not have a date yet. We're waiting on Health Canada to give us the go-ahead. So thank you guys for being here this evening. I appreciate you taking the time out of your Tuesday evening, or if you're watching this replay, thank the person that invited you because they care about you. They wanted you to hear this information for some reason, to be able to help you improve your quality of life. If nothing else, maybe you'll find a new detox buddy and you guys are going to go get your pH balanced and eat all the good healthy foods and get out in nature and get your body moving and sleep through the night and drink healthy water and do all the things to support your immune system and to support the detoxification process in your body. We want you to be here for a long time. And detoxing is going to be your best friend in that experience. And you have everything inside of you you need to keep your body healthy. It's just as we age, the ability declines. And so using these patches gives you that ability, turns back that clock, right? Turns on those genes, those genes that help you stay young and youthful. So thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you again next week on our Zoom. Same place, same time. Have a fantastic evening.